everybody. Welcome to another episode of Community Voices. Today we got two very, very special guests. We got Julian Huff and Jowan Smith. How y'all feeling today?
Great.
Good, good.
Beautiful, beautiful. Again, thank you guys for taking the time out to talk with us with Community Voices. And you guys been doing amazing work. So looking forward to, letting the world know the kind of work you've been doing. So yeah, we can start with Jowan. So what exactly does, for the people who don't know, A Thousand Ties do?
So 1,000 Ties is an organization that's set up for young men to teach them life skills, starting with something as simple as a tie. So the goal is to eliminate barriers and open up doors and create opportunities for our young men.
Amazing. And Julie, I know you've been like a mentee and a mentor, right? So how long you been like associated with A Thousand Ties, and what kind of impact has it had on you?
Well, I've known Jowan since I was about 14 years old. She's literally seen me blossom into a young man. I met her my freshman year of high school, and I finished high school. I graduated, and I was the first recipient of the scholarship that A Thousand Ties gives out. And now I'm also a mentor now that I've graduated college. I graduated from Miami University. I went to New Tech, East Tech in Cleveland, Ohio. And I've just been a mentor and been, really trying to teach some skills to the youth that are a part of the program, because I believe that giving back to our youth is really essential. People gave back to me, so it's important to give back to them as well.
Absolutely. Basically just, paying it forward, the kind of time and investment they put in you and now you put into others. So that's a beautiful thing to hear. And then back to Jowan. So what, motivated you to start A Thousand Ties?
So I started doing this work after watching my son teach himself how to tie on YouTube. And as a single mom, I didn't grow up with a father in the house nor any brothers. So I never learned how to tie myself. So it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit as a mom that there was something that I didn't know and he had to go to YouTube. But it got me to thinking that I know he's not the only young man that does not know how to tie a tie, and, all the other skills, handshaking, eye contact, communication is kind of a lost skill because technology is taking that away. So my goal was to try and reach these young men and help them learn these skills so that we can eliminate barriers, because you have to be able to interview and network and engage and build relationships so that you can apply to colleges, apply to high schools in some situations, apply for scholarships, apply for jobs. So it all came from watching him learn on YouTube.
It's crazy. And it's very true what you mentioned with technology. Like nowadays, you just send a DM or, send an email. It's like, it's hard and, almost like you said, a lost skill of like that real in-person communication, which, people are lacking. But with A Thousand Ties, you bring it back. So.
Yeah.
So
that's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So for Julian, how has A Thousand Ties changed your life? Like think about where life was before and then after.
I think it was really important to have like a community aspect. So for me, I grew up in like an all-white suburb, and then I transferred to an inner city school in high school. And when I was at that all-white suburb, I didn't really feel as if I had really a community. I didn't really feel welcomed. Whereas when I went to that inner city school, I felt welcomed. I started meeting people who supported me and saw the potential that I had. And I feel like before I went to that school, no one was really noticing my potential or helping me foster that. So when I went to this school and I met new people and I met, parents of my friends, because I also know Jowan's kids, it was really important because one, it let me know that these people see potential in me. So that helped me find out who I was as a young man. And the second thing is like having a community behind you. It's like when I take one step, I understand that I'm not just stepping by myself. I'm stepping with a whole group of people behind me. And that's really important and powerful to know behind, in your head, because if you feel like you're doing something alone, it can be quite scary. But if you know you have people supporting you the entire way, it makes you really want to go out there and get it done. And that's why it was so important for me, with A Thousand Ties, and then just going to the school itself, because I have that community, that support, that family. And family is really important for me and for a lot of others, because it takes a village, to get things done. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially like, I like how you mentioned you just had like your whole family and friends, behind you as like, you continue your journey. So that's very important because like you said, it takes a village,
Yeah.
And then for Jowan, what are some like the biggest barriers that A Thousand Ties face? And like, what are like some of the most common issues, you face, handling this, philanthropic effort of yours?
Well, most people would probably think that the family engagement piece is the biggest barrier. But for us, we have 100% parent participation. And the reason we have that is because our program is family-based, like Julian said. When we have our events or whenever we have outings, it's for the whole family. So yes, the young man is in the program, but we have outings for the parents. We have activities for the siblings. So we make it about the whole family. I know as a mom, like that was a barrier to me participating in stuff with my children. Like, oh, I got to get a babysitter for the other kid. I got to drop off and then I got to come all the way back and pick up. So that was one of the things I wanted to make sure there wasn't a barrier for the Thousand Ties families. And then also, if the young man is learning something, it's beneficial that the parent learns as well so they can go home and work on it together. So yeah, we taught you how to tie a tie, but we're going to teach your mom and your brother. So when y'all all go home, everybody can tie a tie. So it's all about, that whole community and family and embracing everybody. Some of the barriers that we do have, of course, funding. But, we do as much as we can to try and get the funding in, and we get a lot of great volunteers that volunteer their time. So it's, a process of growing and, getting the word out about the work. But I would probably say our biggest is probably the funding. But the one barrier that people would probably think, which is family engagement, people always say the parents don't come out. Our parents come out.
Amazing. Cool. And then last question for you, Julian. So how's your experience been as a mentor, and what words do you have for like kids in the program now who want to, aspire to be like you?
It's really, it's surreal because, I was, in that position before. Like I have mentors now, and I don't know, for me, it's different because when I talk to someone and they're like, oh, I want to do what you're doing, and I look up to you, it just gives me a whole different perspective, because when I was younger, I was never really like, oh, I'm going to be this and that, or I'm going to aspire to do this or achieve these accolades at this age. So it's something I'm still getting used to. I'm quite young. I'm only 20. I'm still figuring out life myself. But what I'm figuring out is like, if I can talk to these youth and tell them the things that I've went through, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have like the same mistakes or have to go through the same obstacles. However, I can help them navigate that better. Whereas like, sometimes I didn't know how to navigate things. So I might have done something that was totally out of pocket. Whereas if I can talk to these youth and show them like, hey, this might happen to you, but here's how to navigate it, it can make their life so much smoother and open up a lot of opportunities. And then on the other end of it, like being able to connect with them is really nice because like, although I am older than, the kids in the program, me and my mentee, like we watch some of the same shows. Like we both watch some animes. So like, like I can still relate to them on a whole nother level that, someone who's older might not be able to. So I think that's really important because it helps the youth and the mentee feel, trusted with their mentor. And that's really important because if you can't trust anyone, you're not open to sharing with them and you can't really take it to that next level. So it's just been like a great feeling, and I'm glad I'm able to give back because like I said earlier, someone helped me, so I got to help somebody, and then hopefully they help somebody. And that's just how it should be,
Exactly. Be the change you want to be. And
exactly. Yep.
That goes on to the next person. Last question for you, Jowan. So what would you say is what would you consider the greatest accomplishment or achievement with 1,000 Ties?
I have had a total of 20 boys get full scholarships to college that were not even planning to go to college at all. I have had over 50 young men get jobs right out of high school. So those are my benchmarks, the successes. They take the skills and they use them and they obtain and reach goals. So the admissions to college, the scholarships, the employment, all of those are wins for us.
Yeah. And that's like, such a big deal, especially with college, because, giving kids the avenue to continue their education, become, great thought leaders in their community. So it sounds like you guys have been doing amazing work. Us at JD Sports and Finish Line with Community Voices, we've been, leveraging this platform to really, give funding and elevate voices of, important voices like yourselves or you guys like within the community. So with that said, we want to donate $5,000 to 1,000 Ties. And we know that money is going to go a long way and, you know, create more people like Julian, you know, in the
Right.
world. And then more Julians create more Julians, and it becomes like an amazing thing and the kind of energy we need in our community. So definitely kudos to you guys. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
yeah, of course. And I mean, that's a wrap for our conversation. I'll let you guys have like the last, you know, closing words.
I would just like to say, you know, for anyone that is interested in helping or, you know, reaching back, please do that. Our youth need us. We can't, you know, fault them for things that they have not been taught. So it's up to us to have that village mentality and be a piece to the puzzle.
For sure.
My last words would be just take things little by little. I live by that. You know, things don't happen overnight. It might not happen in 5 years, but if you keep getting it done little by little, it'll happen. So just trust in what you believe in and make it happen. Do it little by little.
Absolutely. Great words. So yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you guys again 1,000 times, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.